Hello everybody. I'm going to try something a little bit different and maybe a little bit messy for this video. So this video is meant to introduce you to the idea of genre analysis. And genre analysis is what we do when we are faced with, in my case, a writing situation that we're not real familiar with. So, for my community sort of connection, I am working with the National Alliance on Mental Illness's Utah's branch to help host a fundraising walk. And because I'm a writer, I was put on the PR and marketing committee. And one of the chairs for the event said that I need to write a media alert. And real talk, I have no idea what that is. So what we're going to do is you're going to follow along with me as we start to figure out what this looks like. So my first step is going to be, I'm going to go to Google and I'm going to type in media alert examples. Now, as a quick reminder of what we talked about in class, I put media alert in quotation marks so that it will search the entire phrase rather than each individual word. So, all right. So, I've got a lot of interesting examples here. So, I'm going to go to this one, how to write a media advisory. Let's see what this looks like. So, let me move my frame over a little bit so you all can see this. All right. So, insert your organization's logo or letterhead. All right, I've got all this. So, okay. So this is starting to look a little bit familiar to me. So this is the what, who, when, where, why, and how. Now, I've already written a document like this called the 5 W's. And so I'm thinking to myself, okay, if I've already written that document and the person who asked me to write a media alert wants something different, then this may not be the most helpful piece of information. So I'm going to go and look at another example. So let's go here. So I'm going to go ahead and visit this page. I'm a little concerned because it doesn't appear to be in English, but let's see what we got. So, media alert versus press release. What are the differences? This is an excellent question because I've already written a press release. So let's see what we've got here. So, a must for any PR executive to understand. Well, I'm definitely not a PR executive, but I'm pretending to be one for this organization. So I'm going to scroll down here. And so, concise notifications or alerts to spread the word to media members about an upcoming event. So, I also noticed that this is different from a media invite, which may be something I need to write in the future. So what I'm starting to get now are some different ideas. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, and you won't be able to see this on screen yet, but I'm going to move this over here, and I am going to open a new document where I can make some notes for myself, and I'll show these to you after I have walked through this process. So I'm going to make a note to myself that talks about media invite as a possible to-do. And I'm going to note that this is meant to be concise. Okay. This is going to include the details of the event, such as the date and the venue. That makes a lot of sense. The attendance of key figures. Okay, so we are going to have some special guests here. but one of my other committees hasn't told me exactly who has said this coming, so I'm going to make a note of that on my other document, but I need to get that information. So, all right. I see that we have some bullet points at the top. I'm going to write that in my notes too. And I'm going to put a question mark on it because I'm not sure if this is something that's going to be consistent across all of them. So, okay, so this does look relatively short. Okay. What I'm looking at here is what we call an underview, which is kind of the opposite of a TLDR, so too long, didn't read. This is more of a summary to kind of remind your readers what are the most important parts. So, I already know what a press release is, so I'm not going to keep reading too much down here. So, but I do like this about the key differences. All right. So, it is important to understand that a media alert's primary purpose is to get the interest of the media and their audience to encourage their attendance at the event. Okay. All right. So, and then I'm going to, get interest. And then this next section seems to say this is shorter than a press release, which is already a one-page document. So let's go down to content. Okay, so the tone is more direct and brief. And this is also very helpful for me. So the press release comes out first. Now this is interesting. This is not something I'd read before, and it doesn't quite fit with what I understand about press releases. But, so, press releases can be before or after the event, but here I do notice that a media alert is sent closer to the event date. All right, so more straightforward, using persuasive but direct language to deliver the information. Okay, so I think I've gotten everything I can from this website. So let's go back to our previous tab, and I'm going to go down from the images, and I want to look here at what we're seeing. So, I'm going to take a look at this one because it's also for a mental health advocacy group. So maybe this is going to have some interesting information for me. So we will open that in just a second, but for right now, I have downloaded it so we can take a look at it. But let's take another look at this media alert tips. I like how concise this is. This makes me very happy. Format of a media alert. Okay. At least 3 to 5 business days before the event. So, I like that because it gives me a little bit more time to write since my event isn't until May. And so, and I have a template. That's pretty exciting. I have another example here, though, that says what, who, when, where, why. And that's something I've already gotten written up, so I might make one more note to myself because maybe I can crib from some writing I already have. But let's go back and let's look at one more. 15 tips. Why not? Okay. So we're capturing the media's attention, primarily by public relations professionals. So, all right. right, we already know that there is a difference between media alerts and press releases. So they serve as a teaser. Maybe I'll make a note of that. Okay. All right. So there are different types of press releases, but I'm not too worried about press releases. So I need a catchy headline. And captivating introduction. I'm not too worried about that, so I may not make a note about it. And then subheadings for easy scanning. All right, that's a relevant piece of information. Oh, and I might have an image or video. Well, that's interesting because I've already made a poster for this event. However, a lot of the examples we looked at in the images search didn't have that. So I'm going to put a question mark next to that in my notes. So we do want to have our essential details. Maybe some quotes. Okay. Contact information. That's really important. So in my notes, I'm going to put that in. And then I'm going to put it in bold because I want to make sure that media outlets know who to talk to about the event. Especially because the way this event is working out, I can't actually be there on the day of. Otherwise, I might be the person that they're reaching out to. I think we all have heard of the KISS principle, right? Keep it simple, stupid, silly, whatever. Proofread and edit thoroughly. Yeah, that's pretty straightforward. I know what my distribution channels are because I have people working on that. Timing. Okay. Avoid sending your alerts during major news events that might overshadow your announcement. Well, I think that might be tricky right now, but we will do our best. So, right now it seems like everything is a major news event. And social media. We have some young people who are doing the social media, so I don't really have to worry about that. But I do notice, looking at this, it's more of a memo kind of a format. Okay. All right. Okay. So I'm noticing again the who, what, why, when. All right. So I think I'm getting a lot of the same ideas here. So I'm going to go and we're going to take a quick look at that example one that I had downloaded. So we're going to open that file. And then while that's opening, I'm going to move my recording box over there. Okay. So, sample media alert. Print on program letterhead or National Prevention Week letterhead. So we know about the letterhead, but I'll make a note of that in a minute. I need to have my distribution date. And the contact information goes at the top. Okay. So, I think this is pretty straightforward. And again, we've got the what, when, who, and where. So, even though that's not what I was necessarily expecting a media alert to have, I guess I am lucky that I already have some of this written. So, and then we have these kinds of details here. So, what we're going to do now is I'm going to swap over to the notes I've been taking while we've been walking through this together. And so I've got, kind of messy notes here. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put in a little table. So, alright, so I'm going to go to Insert, and I'm going to get a table, and I just need 3 columns, and let's do that many rows. So, this column is going to be my must-have. and this is going to be my nice to have. Now, I used to teach this activity with a can't have. Now, I think that wasn't as productive as it could be. So I'm going to take a look at the information that I've got from my notes, and I'm going to put contact info is my first must-have. And I'm going to put my 5 W's, so my who, what, when, where, why, and how. I'm going to put for my underview over here a nice to have. So I didn't see that show up in a lot of these examples, so it may be something I put in, but I'm not sure I need to have it. So, interest getting catchy headline. So I need to get people excited about this. Subheadings, I saw different points of view on it, so I'm going to put that over here in my nice to have. And image or video, that's going to go here too, because I only had one website tell me that was a good idea. Now, I'm also going to put over here the memo format, because they all seem to look that way. I'm looking back over my list, and so concise is going to go on my must-have, and maybe I'll make a quick note to myself. Shorter than a press release. So, is there anything else I'm missing? Maybe we'll put bullet points over here. It's kind of with my subpoints, but you're sort of getting the idea of what I'm doing. And then this is what we would call our genre analysis. So I have looked up a lot of information about a genre that I'm not very familiar with. I have seen where different sources agree or disagree on how it should look. I'm probably going to do a little bit more searching around to say, okay, here are a bunch of examples. Maybe I'll go to organizations that are like the one I'm volunteering for and look at a few more examples. But I think I have enough of a direction now to where I could confidently say, okay, I can make a media alert that's going to have all my must-haves. And it's going to align with what my media contacts are going to expect when I tell them I'm sending them a media release. So, no matter what genre you're thinking about doing, whether it's a TikTok account, Instagram, a website, a brochure, a poster, an infographic, whatever you're interested in, this genre analysis exercise is going to work for you. So, this is the information I'd like you to include in this week's notebook. So, I hope you all have a great week, and I look forward to hearing from you soon.